This gameplay video is kindly sponsored by Toby, but more on that later. Cargo hauling contracts in Star Citizen can be a relaxing way to pass the time and see the sights, at least when they work, and even the smallest of hauls can do that. I'm Forrester, and this gameplay video shows a short session of taking out the C1 Spirit to do some small cargo hauling contracts, with the aim of steadily increasing Covalex's reputation. This video is the full haul end to end, but to keep the overall length of the video down, some parts have been sped up, with those parts clearly shown. So, batten down those hatches and join me for a little cargo hauling. And we'll start by spawning in the ship from the hangar. In this case, it's going to be the C1 Spirit. It's a hauler that I've not flown around recently, been mostly using the Zeus for my kind of small to medium contracts, so flying the C1 should be a nice change. I'm just going to take some small grade contracts for this, ideally at member rank, that should comfortably fit aboard the C1. I probably ought to point out what it means for this to be a sponsored video with a little disclosure. I regularly upload gameplay videos like this to the channel, and so when Toby reached out offering to sponsor a video, it just made sense, given how I use the Toby Eye Tracker 5 in all my play sessions anyway. I purchased my eye tracker over 4 years ago, long before I had any sponsorship or affiliate arrangements with Toby, and I purchased as a paying customer, and I've always been very happy with my purchase, hence why I feel so comfortable to work with Toby and showcase their eye tracker for you. This video content is formed of my own thoughts, I've not been sent a script to read to you, and for those who purchase the tracker through the affiliate link in the video description, it gives a small amount of commission to the channel for every purchase. So that's where I stand vis-a-vis Toby. You can make your own decisions on that, I suppose. And now that I've got the ATLS loaded up onto the back, I'll be looking for those hangar doors to open to leave to pick up our waste, which all needs to go to HDPC Barnes Way today. From time to time I'll show the Toby Ghost overlay, which is the blue bubble showing on screen. That's just to illustrate where my eyes are pointing. With something like this, where the hardware becomes so integral to how you just experience the game, it's helpful for trying to explain visually how it's working, at least for the eyes. So yeah, if you see the blue bubble, that's what it is. I don't actually see it in game, it's purely overlaid on top of this video to explain the system. As we leave Hurston, Lorville, and enjoy the sights of the city in the night time. Beautiful sight, along with the sleek lines of the C1 Spirit as well. So we'll jump out away from Hurston and then back in to try and find a nice landing spot to collect this first shipment. And it also affords a nice opportunity to enjoy the planet of Hurston, the Stanton Sun, and then a nice view there of the C1 Spirit in orbit. I should point out here, whilst I do use my Toby Eye Tracker for every session, I don't use it all the time. Sometimes if I'm just taking it easy or in a long quantum hop and checking my phone or hopping around the planet like this, I just enable or disable with a quick hotkey. I use the home key on the keyboard. That just reverts you to a head forward position, which can be easier if you're in transit. And there, a nice view of the C1 Spirit flying in for our first pickup on Hurston. starting to get a bit closer, so I'll switch to the SCM mode At this point, this is the sort of time when I free up my head so I can be looking around, scanning the landing zone for where I'm going to land the ship, and then try and remember how big the ship that I'm flying is. I find the C1 Spirit is deceptively wide and deceptively long, so I'm almost always bumping it when I fly it. Case in point, little bump there. Bring it forward and land it. So we'll hop out to pick up the first crates of waste. You may have noticed when we're in the hangar, I'm bringing the ATLS with me because sometimes these contracts are giving me more boxes than they say they will, so I find it helpful to have the ATLS for that, especially for the C1 where the tractor beam is a little awkward to use. It also pairs well with the eye tracker, not least because often picking up large crates can completely block your view of where to place them back down, whereas with the eye tracker you can hold a crate and look the other way whilst moving the ATLS to place the crate down. So the eye tracker makes things easier, but the ATLS still hates me. And here's an example. It's a little bit harder with these smaller crates, but I'm using the eye tracker to look at the crate without moving left or right on the ATLS. The ATLS is just pointing straight forward, and then once I've looked at the crate, I can try and grab it. Not easiest with the 1 SCU crate, but you can imagine for some of the larger crates, it does make it a lot easier than just having that view obstructed. So, a use case I think where the Tobii eye tracker makes sense. And so I've collected the first set of 3 SCUs, and now it's a case of getting airborne again, getting back into orbit before collecting the next set. Quick look to the side and enjoy the view, and then go to ×4 speed to speed up the travel time. So, as I quantum hop across to the next location, I should point out the reason that Tobii is sponsoring this video is as part of their CitizenCon campaign, which runs from the 3rd to the 20th of October 2025. During the campaign, they're running various events, including a 15% discount and a sweepstake. All of the details are on the landing page in the video description if you wanted to find out more. And here we are approaching the next location for pickup. This time, it's in the dark. See if I can find a nicer way to land. Perhaps nicer than that raft over to our left, which looked to be upside down. So this time we have 4 SCUs to collect. Let's see what the makeup of the crate is. It's just a single 4 SCU crate, so I don't really feel the need to use the ATLS for this one particularly. I think multi-tool will probably do it just as easily. That's just because of the amount of time it takes to get into an ATLS. I think if I'm doing anything less than 2 boxes, I'm kind of just wasting my own time, which I'm doing anyway by flinging the box into the back of the C1 Spirit with the ATLS in it. But the ATLS will be useful for either unloading the ship at the end, where I'll have multiple boxes to do, or potentially if that other 4 SCU is not a single crate, it might be useful for that. There we have the next crate. So that's 2 of the 3 pickups done. On to the next location. We're in one of the areas of Hurston that has those funky Hurston trees. Very cool. So, heading back up into space before we quantum hop around the planet to get to the last pickup location. One of the nice things about using the C1 Spirit for this is it flies very nicely. It's a pleasant ship to float around and enjoy. Other than the fact that it's wider and longer than you think it is, it does fly well. And we're back on the sunny side of the planet to head down and do the last pickup. It's quite surprising how many different biomes there are to the planet Hurston. You always kind of think it's all just desolate, but there's a few different areas with a few different types. So here we are on the way down. Quick glance to the left to see what that ship is over there. It looks like it's fine. So head down, collect the last shipment of waste. I don't know why I'm picking up so much waste to send it to a distribution centre, but I'm getting paid. I'm not going to complain. And then down for a little bit of a graceful landing, actually. I think that's been the best landing of the day for the third pickup. Door doesn't want to open there. There we go, that's better. And let's see if this is a single 4SCU crate, or maybe perhaps multiple again. If it's just the single, I'll probably just stick with the multi-tool rather than watch all the animations for the ATLS. It looks like it's just a single, so probably just multi-tool it. So clearly these contracts are just scratching the surface of what's possible with the C1 Spirit. With 64 SCUs on grid in the back, it would have been more than feasible to do a lot larger cargo hauls. But as I say of late, some of the times I'm finding that even if it says it's 3 SCUs, it might be 5-10 times that. So to keep it safe, I'm just bringing a ship that is larger than the haul that I'm hoping to achieve, just that I know that I've got room. And with that, we'll do a little external view here of the C1 Spirit taking off, that rear door retracting, and those engines firing. I do like the look of this ship. So now it's time to head to Farner's Way to drop off all of these shipments. I always feel a bit suspicious when you're pointing at the planet to Quantum Hop. You hope it knows to fly around it, but there have been times in previous patches where it has, for me, just flown straight through the planet. But this is nice, flying down through the clouds. Low visibility before heading into the distribution centre. See the ocean appearing below and then the land beyond it with the glittering lights of Farner's Way. And I guess this is what I'm saying. Hurston is a lot more than just smog. There is some diversity to the environments here. That said, it's not the easiest to see this distribution centre in this light and this smog, so a little bit of scanning, pinging wouldn't go amiss. Kick into SCM mode and then wait for a landing bay. One of the situations in which I find the Tobii Eye Tracker most useful is in flight, particularly for takeoff and landing like this, where being able to look around at hangar doors or around the ship from first-person view is very helpful. I know there are people who enjoy playing in third-person view, that's fine, but for me I love the immersive first-person experience, so using the Eye Tracker to help with that is great for me. I'm just able to scan those doors, wait for an opening, and then see myself in, looking around as needed. Easy does it. And then try and remember how wide the wings are. Yeah, that wide. I tell you what, the eye tracker helps, but it doesn't make you a perfect pilot. That's only achieved through practice. So get the back door open, the freight elevator is already up, so I can just hop straight into the ATLS, start unloading. Start with the crates in front of me. And this is an example of just being able to look to the side to throw the crates over. Although I think I was slightly too quick there and missed the cargo grid, but with practice you can get very quick at doing this. Does very well pair with the ATLS. So hopping out, that's all of the crates unloaded. Time to send them down and hopefully get paid. There we are, all the crates going down in the freight elevator. Although, frustratingly, that says only one of the deliveries has been accepted. I don't know quite why that is. I think head back and see what's happened to those other crates that I did bring here. I think this is one of the frustrations of Star Citizen sometimes is you can be doing all the things that you think are the right things, but sometimes it just doesn't work as intended, particularly for things that are perhaps a few patches old, like these hauling contracts. You just think it should work. So, try bringing it up, sending it back down again, and seeing if it accepts the progress. I'm really wanting to push through member rank because I'd love to get some use out of my Hull C once again. But with the resource drive event, most of my hauling was focused on that. And then there's just been challenges getting things completed. And there I can see it's got one objective complete, but the other two are not, inexplicably, even though the things are on the ramp. So I think what I'll try doing is just putting them somewhere else on the freight elevator and seeing if that has it accept. But I'm not going to spend hours here trying to get it to accept cargo that I've delivered. Try sending that back down. No, it's not accepting it. So that's a shame. I have completed everything that I think I should have completed for that contract, but it's not been marked as complete. Frustrating, but that's how it goes sometimes. So I think at this point what I'll do is cut my losses and start to head back to Microtech, which is home for me, where all the ships are kept. So I've got a little bit more choice for perhaps what I haul with next time. And of course a nice opportunity to enjoy leaving the hangar with the C1 Spirit once more. So helpful just being able to look up at the ceiling and see as things are opening. Although I feel like sometimes the hangar doors open frightfully slowly. But with a nice thin ship like this, what I can do is just fly out sideways. Rotate the ship, fly out sideways. That'll do. It's good enough for me. Nice view of some clouds, and then just try and head back up into orbit. Usually just pick any old quantum marker to get out of the atmosphere and then plot my route properly. And there we are, on the way across to Microtech. The final thing I'll add on the Tobii eye tracker is that it helps make some difficult situations in-game slightly easier. So one example here is logging out in a bed. If the kids are crying or whatever, I often find it quite difficult to find the button to log out, but looking around with the Tobii eye tracker, it's much easier to find it and then hit log out. Thanks, Tobii. If you enjoyed this video, you might press the like button to let me know I should make more gameplay videos like this, and if you're not yet subscribed, given that you got this far, you probably want to do that too, so that YouTube will know to show you more videos like this in future. But otherwise, thank you to Tobii for sponsoring this video, and as always, thank you for watching.